progress, frozen at the moment of John's death in October 2004.
Well, I think it's a sort of a collection within a collection, isn't it? You know, if the collection was a safe place, this box sounds to me as if it represented the real safe place and the real sort of place from where John set out.
But one act dominates the box with almost 20 records. It's this duo who perhaps best symbolised John's all-embracing passion for music.
There's many.
It's up there, there's another one hiding there.
The White Stripes. Oh, lots of White Stripes.
The White Stripes.
And the White Stripes again.
Oh, he's got a lot of our records in here. Good Lord. This whole section here has about 20 of our records in it, which is more than I have in my 45 box.
Even in his 60s, John was unearthing and promoting new talent. From Pink Floyd to the Sex Pistols, Rod Stewart to Radiohead, the White Stripes joined an exclusive club of artists who benefited from the legendary Peel effect.
I think what John loved about the White Stripes was the fact that they were utterly, utterly primal in every way. He performs like he's possessed, Jack White, he really does. And, you know, the way that his influences reach so far back into to so many familiar and well-loved places, the same sort of places that John adores as well.
If you put all these vinyl records together, the blues records, you know, the obscure blues records, the strange soul records, the political rock records, the novelty records, the punk records, you know, coming out of weird areas of Britain with handwritten notes, you know, you kind of get the White Stripes. You know, that's what it boils down to.
Who would have played a White Stripes record and radio in the UK before John did? Not many. In fact, it's a list of one. John.
We learned a lot from him. He's so on top of the game. No matter how long he'd been doing it, he really knew everything that was happening at the time. All the bands that were playing and what they were doing and what records they had done that he thought were interesting.
Their thirst for wanting to know more about music in the past, as it were. And he thought that was quite wonderful, their broad-mindedness.
His friendship with the likes of Jack White helped lay some of John's own past demons to rest. He'd had an uneasy relationship with fame over his 40-year career, often feeling uncomfortable with his celebrity and that of others.
He protected himself because he'd been hurt by having friends who became more famous, and then as they became more famous, they disappeared out of his life. That hurt him on a lot of occasions, and just didn't want to be hurt again.
It's such a treat to meet somebody in the position that he finds himself in at the moment who's prepared to talk to you about records, you know, because over the years, over the centuries even, we've lost many mates to showbiz, you know, people who've we've really liked, and then they've gone on to become fantastically famous and they've gone mad or have died or something or other, and it's intensely depressing.
I guess maybe we did connect with John. I mean, he's got so many of our records in here. It's a big compliment to have even one. I really wanted to become better friends with him because I really liked talking to him.
As he became older, he did handle it a lot better. When he was younger, when I first knew him, he became upset by it. But latterly, he coped with it much, much better and became a lot more laid back about it.
I'm thinking about my doorbell, when you're gonna ring it, when you're gonna ring it.
Towards the end of his career, this more relaxed John began to invite bands to his home in the country for a series of recording sessions.
The White Stripes played here. They did a live session here once, and John sat in the corner where his little studio corner was, and he couldn't wipe the smile off his face. He was enormously happy. He was there with his glass of red wine and friends around him and his family. The noise was fantastic. He was just in heaven.
The latest additions to the box, the White Stripes, reflect a Peel who is content with his life. But other vinyl footprints hint at the more turbulent days of the nation's favourite